morning children. In the last class we discussed about the few answers of metallurgy and the drift velocity, how the speed of that velocity electrons in battery we discussed. Now based on that he asked one question: is there any relation between EMF of a battery and the drift speed of electron the conductor connected to a battery? EMF of a battery and a drift speed of electron in the conductor connected to the battery. Is there any relation between EMF of battery and drift speed of electron in the conductor connected to a battery? Is there any relation between EMF of a battery and drift speed of electron in the conductor connected to a battery? Based on that, we have one law, that is a Ohm's law. Let us discuss and most important law for your 4 marks in your board exams. Okay. Lab activity. To show that ratio of V by I is a constant for a conductor. What is your aim? V by I ratio should be a constant. What is a V? Potential difference. What is I? Current. Is a constant of a conductor. And what are the materials required? You can see the figure 10. Copper wires, iron spoke, battery, ammeter, tap key, as well as a bulb 1.5 each. How many dry cells you needed? 5 dry cells. This is your materials. Procedure was by seeing the diagram you can connect a circuit as shown in the figure. Solder the connecting wires to the one ends of an iron fork. Close the key and note the readings of the current from the ammeter and potential difference from the voltmeter in table 1. When battery 1 is connected, you can see that the battery is connected. Note the readings of current in the ammeter and potential difference in voltmeter and note in these values in the table 2. Now connect 2 cells. Your first diagram which you are seeing figure 10, only one battery is connected, one cell is connected. Now you connect one more cell to this. Same procedure and observe that how much current it flows. Now note the potential difference and current and enter these values in the table 1. Now so on, increase that, third cell, fourth cell and fifth. When you connect 5 cells, every time you have to note the potential difference and electric current and enter the values in the table and find the ratio V by I. You will get the V by ratio is constant. What does it mean? As the shells is increasing, potential difference also increases. That's why V by I ratio remains constant. Constant means it won't stay there only. As it is also increasing, that also increases in that ratio. Then that relation is said to be a constant. That relation is said to be a constant. Same number of benches increase as the students also increases. So then benches, it never remains empty, it is said to be a constant. Okay. Now comes to the V is proportional to I. From this what you are going to define? V is proportional to I. What is a V? V is a potential difference. And what is I? Current, electric current. Potential difference is directly proportional to electric current at a constant temperature is known as Ohm's law. And in our experiment we took the materials LED also. What is the use of LED? In the case of normal cells, as potential is increasing, amount of current also increases. But in the case of LED, as the potential difference is increasing, the intensity of the bulb is not increasing, current is not increasing in that ratio. So LED is not obeying the Ohm's law. What is our Ohm's law? V is proportional to I. What is V? Potential difference. And that symbol is read as directly proportional. I means current. Potential difference is directly proportional to electric current at a constant temperature. As the potential increasing, current should increase. As the number of shells increasing, amount of current also should increase. But in the case of LED, it is not happen. So LED is not following the Ohm's law. So it is said to be non-ohmic conductor. The substance which does not follow or obeys the Ohm's law are said to be non-ohmic conductors. The conductors which does not obey Ohm's law are said to be non-ohmic conductors. Which obeys the Ohm's law are said to be ohmic conductors. Their cells and LED light is said to be ohmic conductor. Iron spoke is said to be ohmic conductors. Metals are said to be ohmic conductors. LED, non-metals, semiconductors are non-ohmic conductors. Let me repeat once again. Ohm's law, most important law and important for your 4 marks also. What is our aim? V by I ratio should be constant. So to prove that, what are the materials we need? Iron spoke, 1.5 each, 5 battery cells, connecting wires, tap key, ammeter, voltmeter, these are LED, all these are the materials required. Procedure: connect copper wire to the battery and solder the iron spoke to the 2 ends of the copper wire and close the tap key. What happens when you close the tap key? Current flows through that and iron got get heated and gives a red, it becomes a red hot. So as the number of batteries are increased, shells increase, each time you need to note ammeter, voltmeter current and current in ammeter and potential difference in a voltmeter, and that value should be entered in a table 1. Each time you are increasing one battery up to 5 batteries. What you observed here? As the potential is increasing, number of shells is increasing, nothing but potential is increasing, current also increases. So potential is directly proportional to electric current at constant temperature, and this is known as Ohm's law. We can draw the graph by taking potential difference on x-axis and current on a y-axis. In the case of metals and iron spoke, we got a straight line, but in the case of LED, we got a curve. So this shows that straight line is nothing but as it is increasing, that also increases. But in the case of LED, as the potential is increasing, the current does not increase. So LED is not obeying the Ohm's law. So LED is known as non-ohmic conductors, and metals are known as ohmic conductors. What are ohmic conductors? The conductors which obey the Ohm's law are called ohmic conductors, and the conductors which does not obey the Ohm's law are called non-ohmic conductors. What is Ohm's law? Potential difference is directly proportional to electric current at a constant temperature is known as Ohm's law. See, here it is the potential difference between ends of the conductor. Here it is most important law. Potential difference between the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to the electric current at a constant temperature. Potential difference means V. V is proportional to I. To remove this proportional symbol, we need to introduce a constant, that is V is equals to I, RIR, IR. What is R? R is called resistance of the conductor. Resistance of the conductor. And what are the units of a Ohm's law? That is ohm meter. That is a symbol is ohm. The unit of resistance is ohm. Can you define the ohm here? Can you define the R? R is nothing but V by I. What is V? Potential difference. What is I? Current. So potential difference is measured in volts and current is measured in amperes. Volt by ampere are the units of our resistance. What is resistance? Which opposes the flow of electricity is said to be resistance. And what is the Ohm's law? V is the potential difference between, V means potential difference. The potential difference between the end of the two conductors is directly proportional to the electric current passing through it at constant temperature is known as Ohm's law. And the conductors which obeys Ohm's law are known as ohmic conductors, which does not obey the Ohm's law are called as a non-ohmic conductors. So non-ohmic conductors, LED, and ohmic conductors, metals. Clear? Here it is there, same. Those which obey the Ohm's law are called ohmic conductors. For example, metals are ohmic conductors. Those which does not obey Ohm's law are called non-ohmic materials. For example, LEDs. Okay. Limitations of Ohm's law. Ohm's law is valid for metal conductors provided the temperature and other physical conditions remains constant. The resistance of the material changes with the temperature. Hence, for changing temperature, V by I graph for a conductor will be non-linear. Ohm's law is not applicable to gaseous conductor. It is not applicable to semiconductors such as germanium and so what is saying that it is not suitable for semiconductors and it is not suitable for gaseous conductor. Only for metals Ohm's law is verified. Okay. What is resistance? Which opposes the flow of motion is said to be a resistance. The material which opposes is said to be a resistor, and the resistance of a conductor is different. Abstraction of the motion of the electron in a conductor is said to be a resistance. The material which offers resistance to motion of electron is called resistor. Now comes to the what causes electric shock in the human body. Current or voltage, let us see. You will get electric shock or not? If you hold a live wire, current running wire, you will get electric shock. So what causes the electric shock in the human body? Whether it is current or a voltage, let us discuss. Let us assume that human body is a resistor which opposes the flow of current. The resistance of human body generally varies from 100 to 50 lakhs in the skin, if the skin is very dry. Let us calculate the amount of current that flows through a human body. Let us assume that you have touched 2 electrodes of a battery 24 volts. The dry fingers in such a way that current circuit is complete. Let our body resistance be 1 lakh. Then the current flowing through our body is given by. The current is very small. When such a small current passes through human body, it does not affect the functioning of various organs inside the body. Do you know that voltage of mains that we use in our household circuits? What is the voltage of that? Live wire 240 volts. So current is equals to Q by 1 lakh, that is gives 0.002 amperes. See, this is the thing. 0.001 if a current passes through our body can be felt. It means we can understand that current passed. And 0.005 is nothing but it is painful. 0.012 causes involuntary muscle contractions, spasms, and 0.15 causes loss of muscle control, and 0.07 if the heart causes serious destruction, probably fatal if lost more for than 1 second. From the above discussion, we can conclude that electric shock can be experienced when there is a potential difference exists between one part of the body and the other part. When a current flows through the human body, it chooses the path which offers a low resistance. The resistance of the body is not uniform throughout it. For example, skin offers continuous inside the body for the current, and resistance of human body goes on changing. Hence, electric shock is combined effect of potential difference and electric shock and resistance of the human body. So, why does not a bird get a shock when it stands on a high voltage wire? There are the 2 parallel transmissions lines. Wait a minute. Why does not bird get a shock when it stands on a high voltage wire? There are 2 parallel transmission lines on electric poles. The potential difference between 2 lines is 240 volts throughout their lengths. If you connect any conducting device across the two wires, it causes current to flow between the wires. When the board stands on a high voltage wire, then there is no potential difference between the legs of the board. Hence, it stands on a single wire. So, no current passes through the board. Hence, it does not feel electric shock. Most important question. Why does not a board get shock when it stands on a high voltage? When it stands on a high voltage. Something disturbance in that. Why does a bird get shock when why does not it gets a shock when it stands on a high voltage wire? Because there are two parallel transmission lines on an electric pole. If we check, two lines will come from that electric pole to your house. The potential difference between two wire lines is 240 volts. That wires are said to be a lines. So if we connect any connecting device across these two wires, it causes the current to flow. But bird stands on a high voltage wire. There is no potential difference between the legs of the bird because it stands on only single wire. So bird does not get shock. Hence it does not feel electric shock even though it stands on a wire. Why? From the pole, electric poles, two wires will come out. They are said to be a two lines, and the voltage between two lines is 240 volts. And if two lines, if they are connected to any device, then that it works by taking the electricity, using the electricity. If you hold the two wires, we'll get a shock. But bird stands on only one wire. That's why it is not getting a electric shock. Okay. Now you know that. Do you know this is a digital ammeter, and the digital meter we have before that we used it to measure current in ammeters and potential difference in voltmeters and a current amount of current in ammeters. Now we have the multimeter, many uses in one device. That is a multimeter. Multimeter has three parts: display, selection knob, ports. The display usually has 4 digits and ability to display a negative sign. Okay. Selection knob. The selection knob allows the user to set the multimeter to read the functions such as milliamps of current, voltage and resistance. What is the use of this multimeter? Three electric devices, electric devices we can use in one. That is ammeter as a voltmeter, and we can find the resistance also. No need of using the separate. So as it is doing the many tasks, it is said to be a multitask multimeter. So how many parts are there in multimeter? 3. One is a display unit where it has a 4 digits and ability to display the negative sign. Selection knob, it helps us to select on a milliampere amps, that it shows the ammeter current reading, voltage, volts, potential difference, and ohms are the units of a resistance. So you can see the knob there like a fan, regulator. If you rotating the knob, if you place an amperes, it shows the amount of current. If you place on a volts, it shows the potential difference. If you place on a ohms, it shows the resistance. Okay. Now third one is ports. Multimeters generally have 2 ports. One is usually labeled as a common or a ground port. This is where black test lead is connected. The other is labeled as a MAV, that is where red label is convention. Now you can see the black and red. This is the other end label is MAV port, where the red label is conventionally plugged into the wire. Warning: most multimeters can be measured AC quantities also, but AC circuits can be dangerous, so measure DC quantities only. So how many important parts are there in this? 3. One is display unit, selection knob, and third one is a port. Okay, this is about the multimeter. And let me remind, the oral test is going now. Prepare well for that and complete your activity 2 and project 2. Start writing your classwork also. Metallurgy, few answers I gave today, it is not possible. In the next video I give few more answers of a metallurgy. Today what we have discussed about the Ohm's law. What is the Ohm's law? V is proportional to I. Remember that, you can frame. What is V? Potential difference. What is I? Current. What is that symbol? Directly proportional. V is directly proportional to electric current. Potential difference at the ends of a connecting wires is directly proportional to electric current at a constant temperature. And the conductors which obey Ohm's law are called ohmic conductors, which does not obey Ohm's law are called non-ohmic conductors. Okay, this is only Ohm's law limitation. This law suits for only metals and does not suit for semiconductors as well as the fluids, that is the gaseous conductors. Okay, now we discussed about a Ohm's law. From that equation we got V is proportional to I. To remove the proportional symbol we have to write R. V is equals to R I. R is known as resistance and units of resistance are ohms. So V by I is equals to R, that is the formula of a R, and R is measured in ohms. When we will get electric shock? If we touch two lines, that is two wires are said to be two lines. What is the voltage of that? 240 volts. If we touch single line, we won't get a shock. Why the body is not getting shock on when it stands on a single wire, electric wire? Because it's standing on only one wire. Now if two lines are connected, then automatically everyone will get a shock. And what we have other topic we discussed? Multimeter. With this we can simultaneously with one device we can measure the amount of current, potential difference as well as a resistance. So it is said to be a multitask or a multimeter. That's all for today, children. Thank you, ma.